After many videos that I've had a blast making, we are finally at our last healer build that I need to update with subclassing. One-bar builds have been popular amongst players for some time now, mainly because of the ease of use and accessibility that it provides people who may need a little assistance, and healing builds are no exception. While I definitely had to make some hard decisions about what skills we'd use with the limited bar space, I think my one-bar enjoyers are gonna like this one. So my name's Doc, and let's get into this. Just as a real quick disclaimer, because I know someone will say it if I don't, one-bar builds are generally weaker than their two-bar counterparts, and this is especially true with healing. You lose out on a lot of bar space, which could be used for extra healing, buffing, or other forms of utility. Like I've mentioned previously on the channel, it's not that one-bar healers can't be successful, because they absolutely can. It's just that it may be harder to be successful in high-end content such as vet trials or HM dungeons. With that out of the way, this build focuses on trying to simplify our rotation and give us higher uptime on skills more easily by limiting ourselves to only one of our weapon bars. Even though we will be lacking some buffs, I did do my best to maintain as many important buffs as I realistically could, and I'm confident that, especially with the inclusion of subclassing, this build will be very successful in mid-game content like vet dungeons and normal trials. You know how it goes by now. Let's start by talking about our race and skill lines. So if you've seen any build video of mine, you already know what I'm gonna say. I am running the Breton for the exceptional sustain they bring to the table. As I always mention though, if you'd like a bit more ultimate generation, the Nord is a great choice. And if you feel like you need the extra healing, the Argonian is another very popular choice amongst healers. For our skill lines, we're starting with Green Balance from the Warden for the minor toughness buff and all-around good healing output. Next is Siphoning from the Nightblade for the ultimate generation passives and offering, again, some solid healing output. Finally, for our flex spot, here are our choices. With the limited bar space, it was hard to narrow it down to which of these would be truly the best, so I'm confident that any choice in skill line you make here will be a good one. I'm personally running Restoring Light because I think it's a great healer skill line and also because I'm a Templar main. Up next, for our attributes, we'll want all 64 into Magicka as we normally do. For our Mundus Stone, you can run either the Ritual for the extra healing output or the Atronach for the extra sustain. While I'm personally using the Ritual, this build already offers high healing output, and only having one bar means much more time for heavy attacks to restore resources, so you're totally cool to use whatever you like. Next, on to our food. I'd recommend using the Clockwork Citrus Fillet, which can be found from a quest in the Clockwork City Outlaws Refuge. Or, for a cheaper option, you can use the Witch Mother's Potent Brew, which can be bought from guild traders. Both of these increase our max health, max magicka, and magicka recovery, making them strong food options for any scenario. For our potions, you can use Tri-Restoration, Heroism, Spell Power, or even just some simple magicka potions. I think Heroism would probably be the objectively best choice, but I also don't think you need to burn Heroism pots for dungeons and normal trials, so I'm running Tri-Restoration in the gameplay. If you've got a ton of Heroism pots to spare, go crazy, man. And now onto our champion point. Starting with our blue CP tree, we have From the Brink, which will provide a damage shield to anyone you heal who falls below 25% health. Ideally, you won't have to use this too often, but hey, things happen sometimes. Next up is Soothing Tide, which will increase the amount of healing that our AoE heals do, which is great for increasing our overall healing output. Next up is Swift Renewal, which will increase the amount of healing that our heal over time spells do, leading to even more increased healing. And we have Enlivening Overflow, which will give anyone you're healing some extra health, magicka, and stamina recovery occasionally. For our red CP tree, we have Boundless Vitality, which will give us some extra health. This is especially nice since we'll also have the minor toughness buff from the Green Balance skill line, which will increase our max health even further. We'll have a pretty good amount of health here. Next up is Fortified, which will increase our survivability even a little more by giving us some extra armor. Next up is Rejuvenation, which will give us some extra health, magicka, and stamina recovery, which is always nice to have. And we have celerity, which will increase our movement speed, allowing us to keep up with our teammates and stay out of danger. Up next, we've got skills to talk about. Now, remember that because this is a 1-bar build, we'll only be covering 5 skills and 1 ultimate. Okay, this will also assume that you're running my combination of green balance, siphoning, and restoring light. So firstly, we have Budding Seeds. This is our green balance ability, and it will give us a nice little AoE heal with a burst of healing at the end and a unique heal synergy. This is a great little thing to drop on your tank, and they will be very appreciative of you. Next up is Combat Prayer. From the Restoration Staff skill line, this is our main burst heal and how we'll provide the Minor Berserk and Minor Resolve buffs to our teammates. Next is Extended Ritual. This is your Restoring Light skill, and it's a massive AoE heal that also cleanses you and gives your allies a synergy to cleanse themselves. It's also how we'll keep up our Minor Mending buff. Up next, we have Echoing Vigor. From the Assault skill line, this is a great heal over time that will be excellent for keeping your team alive. It's also how we'll be proccing the Powerful Assault set, which I'll talk about in just a minute. Up next is Radiating Regeneration. From the Restoration Staff skill line, this is another great heal over time that helps with keeping our team alive. It also helps us keep the Major Courage buff from Spell Power Cure, but again, we'll get to that in a minute. And for our ultimate, we have Soul Siphon. This is your siphoning skill, and it's one of the best defensive ultimates in the game. Very cheap to cast, and can really help keep your team alive through some difficult heal checks. Finally, let's talk about our sets, traits, and enchantments. For our first set, which will be on our chest, hands, legs, shoes, and belt, we'll be using Spell Power Cure. Found in the White Gold Tower dungeon, this set will grant anyone you overheal Major Courage, which gives them a hefty weapon and spell damage increase. The weight will be all light since SPC is only available in light. The traits you'll want will be all divines, though I always like to mention using infused on the pieces with higher enchantment scaling is also totally okay, and those enchantments will be all max magicka. For our second set, which will be our shoulders, necklace, 1 ring, and restoration staff, we'll be using Powerful Assault. You can purchase this set from the Imperial City via Telvar, or you can buy it from guild traders with gold. When you cast an assault ability, or in this case, Echoing Vigor, you'll give your teammates a weapon and spell damage buff. For the jewelry, we'll want the Arcane trait, though infused is also a good choice. For the enchantments, you'll want a combination of spell power and magicka recovery. I would just use as much magicka recovery as you need until you feel like you can sustain pretty well, and then the rest would be spell power. If you end up with 3 magicka recovery or 3 spell power, those are both totally fine. It all mainly comes down to your playstyle. For our restoration staff, we'll want either the powered trait for extra healing or the decisive trait for extra ultimate generation. And that enchantment will either be Absorb Magicka or Berserker. Now, this is ordinarily where I would talk about our monster set, but limited bar space also means limited set space, so we won't be running a full monster set. With the placements of Spell Power Cure and Powerful Assault, we only have 1 spot left, which is our headpiece. Here, you can run anything that gives you a good 1-piece set bonus. Usually this is a single monster helm, but there are other options like the trainee set as well if you'd like to use that. Weight isn't really too important. I'm running a single piece of heavy Ozazen for the Undaunted passive, but use whatever you feel like. The trait and enchantment recommendation will be the same as the rest of our body pieces. Finally, onto our mythic item or arena weapon. In this case, it will be the Oaken Soul Mythic Ring. Found through the Antiquity system, this ring will essentially lock you out of swapping to your back bar, but in place of that, it will grant you a ton of permanent buffs. The trait and enchantment recommendation for that will be the exact same as the rest of our jewelry. And that was everything we had to cover for the 1-bar healer build. More importantly, I am now officially caught up on all the builds I wanted to cover. Stay tuned though, because I've got some tier lists coming out soon and probably some more coverage of Update 47 not too long after that, depending on how these PTS patch notes go. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it useful. Let me know what you think of the build and if there's anything you do differently. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the link below to follow me on stuff and join my Discord server. I'd also like to take a moment to thank my Patreon supporters Dylan Stewart and Sharni Lee, as well as my YouTube members King Gingy, Durgy, insert username, Eric from Ohio, and Timeburn. Thank you guys for continuing to support me, and y'all are the goats. I think all I've got left to say is that I've been Doc. Take care of yourselves, be good to others, make sure to have a great weekend, and I will catch y'all in the next one.